What's going on guys, Kadis here and welcome back to a brand new video. For today I will show you the top 10 my most favorite and best tips and tricks that I have learned in Age of Z Origins. And a quick disclaimer that yes, this video is sponsored, but I'm not getting paid for saying positive or negative things about the game. All they said is to give a try to Age of Z Origins and see if I like it. So just before we start, if you want to check this game out, it's absolutely free to play on Android and iOS devices. Just use the link in the description and enjoy the game. And if you're interested in more guides and beginner tutorials, then check my other Age of Z Origins videos. So with all this said, let's get right into it. So then, moving over to the first tip, which is how to replace buildings with different ones and how to move them from one location to another one. So for example, let's say that I want to remove this medic station and in its place I want to build a oil refinery. So what you want to do is click on the medic station, then click on details and then click on this remove button and then click confirm, and this will demolish the specific building. So now when that is done, we can click on this empty square and by clicking on this blue arrow we can pick and choose which building we want to build. But remember that each building has its limits. So if you watched my previous beginner guides, you will know that we specifically want to have as many training grounds and medic stations as possible. But besides the point, like I said, I want to build an oil refinery, so we select it and then click on build. And remember that the first 6 or 7 levels for these small buildings you can upgrade instantly by just clicking on this free button till it asks for you to spend actual gold. And then for the second part, let's say that you don't want to build a different building but you just want to move it from a different location. So you again click on the oil refinery you want to move, then click details, but this time we click on move building. And now all the buildings will start glowing up except the building we are moving. So now you just click on the building you want to switch places with and that's it. So let's say that I want to move my building to this level 16 steel refinery. So I click on it, then click confirm, and it's that simple. Okay, so now we have come to the second tip in which I will show you how to set all the same timers for recruiting troops. So you don't have to log in the game every hour, but you can easily collect all of your troops all at the same time. So depending on which factory, camp or workshop building level you have, the troop recruitment time will be more or less and faster or slower. So there is a simple fix for this. What I usually do is I click on each soldier recruitment building and by using the slider I select all troops to be finished after 12 hours. And you want to do the same thing for each building. And you can take this tip even further and set the same timers to match up with your builders. So let's say that your builder will finish building in 9 hours, so you set the same timer, and now instead of logging in after 9 hours and then after 12 hours, but instead you can just log in once and collect all of your troops and then do the same process again. So now for the next step I will show you what are the commander skills and how to use them. So what we want to do is click on the soldier icon which is located in the bottom left corner, and this commander skill page will open, and the skills that I have activated are in the green color. So I have 2 skills. One skill every 12 hours gives me 6 hours worth of resources that my buildings would collect. So basically every time I click on this button I get extra 50% resources that I would normally get from my farms in 12 hours. And then the second skill is the recall all button, which by clicking I make all of my fleets return to my city in 3 seconds. And this is very useful when, for example, I have a bunch of fleets 10 or 15 minutes away from my city and I'm getting attacked, or I just don't want to wait those 10 minutes for my troops to come home. So I activate the skill and all of my soldiers instantly come to me. So the way you can get these is by leveling your commander, which you can see by this number on the bottom left corner of your account. So I'm level 24 and each level I get points to spend to unlock these skills. So let's just click on any of these gray out abilities and left click on the check skill button, and here is the skill page where you can unlock them. What I did at the start, I selected the war category and then unlocked the long range attack, and then I got my first ability, recall all, and then I went into the development category and unlocked the building speed, load speed, and then the second ability called the harvester. And you can do the same thing. In future guides I will explain more in detail about this commander skill tree and what things you should be unlocking, but for now I recommend for you to get both these skills and then put all of your points in the war category. So then moving over to a very quick and simple trick in which I will show you how to use different officers for different activities. So now let's go to this commander center and let's click on appoint, and here you can see all of my current active officers. And when you click on each one of them, you can see that this one gives construction speed, then the other ones give max fleet units, and etc. But for example, if you only want to gather resources or go fighting other players, then these officers will be pointless. So what you want to do is switch different officers for different things that you are doing. So for example, let's click on this officer, and instead of the max wounded, I want to build my army faster. So I click on this officer and then I click appoint, and this will give me faster recruitment speed. Then let's say that in 5 hours I want to go into the battle. So I come to this place again, and this time I appoint the first officer, and that's it. The higher level you will become, the more officers and options you will get to choose from. So don't forget to use this tip, and good luck. Then as for my fifth tip, this one is just a general rule of thumb I like to do to make my city as strong as possible. So as soon as your city levels up, I always upgrade the garage, then the city wall, then all of my training grounds, and then my academy. By making your builders priority to these buildings, you'll be able to unlock more troops in your fleets, you will get better protection against invaders and faster recruitment times, so you can build your army a lot faster. So if you want to mainly focus on player versus player activity and you want to build a strong army, then these are the buildings you want to upgrade first. Okay, so a very nice and cool feature I learned in my alliance was on how to coordinate attacks with multiple players to attack a different player's city or high level monsters. So right now I have opened the map, and here I found a level 23 monster, and when I click on it attack, I see that this monster's power is 693,000, and I know that by myself I can't defeat him. So what I do, I message in my alliance chat, and let's say that I found 5 more players to help me. So what each of us does is click on the attack button, and here in the bottom we can see the time it will take our army to get to this monster. So each player types his timer in alliance chat, and the guy with the highest time types in the chat that he's starting to attack in 5 seconds. So then he clicks on the attack button and starts sending his troops. So now the rest of the players click on the alliance page and then click on the alliance battles, and here you can see his fleet time. So let's say that this time was showing 3 minutes and 10 seconds. So previously we checked that it would take for us 2 minutes and 30 seconds to get to the boss. So now we wait for this timer to get to 2 minutes and 34 seconds, and then we click on the monster and click attack, and by each player doing the same thing, it will coordinate all of your armies to attack the same monster or player city in the same time, and this will mean that all player troops will join in one massive battle against the same enemy. Then in honor of the upcoming Christmas, I want to show you how can you decorate your city exterior. So by clicking on the map, here we can see how does our city looks like. And here all around my base we can see how different player cities look like normally, but by clicking on the city and then selecting the decorate button, here in the first tab we can select between different nameplates for our city. Then in the second tab, which is called the city section, we can click on different cities and click on use item to decorate our cities. And lastly we have the troops section, in which the same way like in the city you can decorate on how your troops or car will look like. So the 2 city skins I have unlocked is this Winter Praise skin and the Azure Arc skin. I personally couldn't find a instruction button on how to get all of the other city decorations, but I have heard that from other players that by competing in city wars or other special events you can compete against other players and then unlock these different skins for cities. But as you're watching this video, I want to tell you that you can get this Winter Praise skin for free just by playing the game around the Christmas time, and if you complete few levels in the winter event you will get the city decoration for 5 days. So then taking a closer look at one of my last tips, which is how to protect better your resources so other players won't be able to steal them from you. So besides just making your soldiers stronger and researching more defenses, you can protect your resources by upgrading this building called Depot. And when you click on upgrade, you can see that right now I have protected 600,000 food and oil, 120,000 steel and 60,000 minerals. And by upgrading this building to another level, I will increase these numbers. So that means that no matter if you get attacked or your city is on fire, all of these resources, which the numbers I just said, will be 100% safe and no one can take them. And then lastly, when you click on the bag and then select resources, here you can see all the crates that you have collected. So what I usually like to do is I only use these crates if I really need more resources or only when upgrading my city to another level. And this way if I get attacked, no one can get these crates, and as I haven't used them, the enemy players will think that I don't have that many resources and my city is less likely to be attacked. Then my next tip might seem weird to you, but I would recommend for every single player to read the Alliance and Global chat at least once a day. You don't have to specifically talk with other players, even though I think it's very fun, but you can just read a couple of messages and try to keep up to date with how are the strong alliances doing, what are your alliance members doing, some things that are happening, special events in which you can participate. Then even in bunch of times from the Global chat I have found bunch of useful information on how this or that works in the game and much more. So I strongly recommend for you to be active and try to at least read the chat, and this will make your in-game experience a lot more fun and enjoyable, and you might even learn a thing or two that you didn't know. And then for my last and final trick, which is more like an advice, in which I would recommend for all players to focus on researching all of these 3 buildings, which is the academy, then the second building is called the garage, and then the third building is the city wall. The best thing is that all of these buildings you can research individually, so as soon as you unlock the next level and you have resources to spend, always research these buildings, and they will give you more percentage to make your city stronger, with higher damage and just in general better. I prefer for researching always focus on the military side first and then the city defenses, and then only the resource gathering output. So don't forget the same way you focus on building buildings, focus on researching as well, and you should be good to go. And with all this said, I really do appreciate everyone for watching, guys, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any suggestions, feedback or other questions about this game, then feel free to leave your comments in the comment section down below. And while you're doing that, please click like, subscribe and enable that notification bell, so this way you could support the channel and you won't miss any more amazing content from me. With all this said, you have an amazing day and I'll catch you in my next video. So take it easy, peace.